1,381 years ago, between August 15th and 20th. The geopolitical landscape in Middle East underwent a transformative shift. The Eastern Roman Empire confronted an invasion from the emerging religion of Islam, sparkling a struggle for dominance in the region known as the Battle of Yarmouk. Over the course of 6 days, thousands perished, and the echoes of violence persist in the region to this day. While the two formidable empires engaged in a bitter war, to the south, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, propagated his new faith. By 613, he had successfully unified a significant portion of Arabia under his rule. Following Muhammad's demise in 632, Abu Bakr assumed leadership, restoring order to the peninsula in rebellion by 633. In that same year, Abu Bakr initiated an invasion beyond Arabia, seizing eastern Syria, western Iraq, and central Jordan, a strategic foothold for his subsequent plan, the invasion of Palestine and Syria. This region revealed chinks in the Byzantine defenses, as recent Roman rule had been reestablished after conflicts with the Sassanids. Historically, these lands often faced invasion from the east by the Persians, leaving southern defenses lacking. In 634, Abu Bakr sanctioned the invasion of Palestine and Syria, intending to bifurcate the Byzantine Empire. Emperor Heraclius deemed a sovereign assault improbable and left local garrisons for regional defense. The initial clash occurred at Roman-Sassanid border at Faraz, following by the decisive defeat of the Roman garrison in Gaza in February as Arab forces moved towards Palestine. Reacting swiftly, Heraclius dispatched a larger force to the region's center. Syria, Martima, Khalid ibn al-Walid, a distinguished Muslim commander with prior experience in Sassanid territory, joined the ranks. Throughout June and July, victories over Ghassanid forces in the united Byzantine-Ghassanid army marked the campaign. The pivotal battle occurred in August at Ain Nadain, resulting in significant Byzantine casualties and loss of control over Palestine. With control established over the countryside, the Muslims hesitated to assault coastal cities due to the Byzantines' naval dominance, pressing Heraclius to assemble a new army along the Yarmouk River. Alas, the swift movement of Muslim forces led to the fall of Basra and Tiberias. Now in proximity to the strategically vital Damascus, the Muslim armies confronted the Romans. Despite facing defeats, the Romans were determined to resist. However, al-Walid's victories led to the siege and eventual fall of Damascus in September. The death of Caliph momentarily stalled the invasion, as Omar, his successor, demoted al-Walid nevertheless. The new Muslim leader harbored ambitions to conquer Syria, culminating in occupation of Emesa in early 636, as instrumental city in central Syria. Aleppo and Antioch found themselves in imminent peril. However, Heraclius now commanded 5 armies and had devised a joint strategy with Persian Shah Yazdgerd III for a simultaneous offense. For the first time, numerically superior Byzantine forces dominated the Muslims, and despite the Sassanids' failure to initiate their attack, Heraclius opted not to bid his time. His strategy involved either confronting the 4 Arab armies separately or, at the very least, pushing them back. Despite al-Walid's absence as the commander, his influence remained, and his new general heeded his advice to abandon Emesa and Damascus. Initially, Muslim forces opted to defend along Yarmouk River, but circumstances forced a withdrawal to the plains beyond it. Both Byzantine and Arabs maintained their position for nearly 3 months. Its attempts at negotiating a ceasefire proved futile, and on the 15th of August, both armies finally engaged. The exact troop numbers remain disputed among historians, but indicators suggest the Byzantines outnumbered their foes 2 to 1. Yet, some estimates are overly extravagant, claiming the Romans fielded 400,000 men. This seems highly implausible, considering Heraclius mustered around 14,000 in the previous war against the Sassanids. Even with a year-long recruitment effort, the Byzantines wouldn't have substantially increased their forces. Contrastingly, the Arabs, with around 15,000 during the siege of Emesa, were reinforced by troop raiders from Palestine and reinforcements from Arabia, likely totaling 20 to 25,000 strong. The leader of the Byzantines, Armenian General Vahan, deployed Ghassanid light cavalry for screening a skirmishing. Armenian infantry held the center, flanked by mercenaries foot soldiers to the left and Greek infantry to the right. The infantry comprised a mix of skirmishers and melee warriors, backed by a cavalry line mainly consistent of cataphracts. In the Muslim army, Abu Ubaidah held command, but al-Walid led during the battle. Al-Walid organized his infantry into 4 groups, with 3 cavalry squadrons behind them and a larger cavalry group in reserve. Arab troops, lighter in armor, compensated with higher mobility. It's noteworthy that Roman army was diverse and multi-confessional, while the Arab army, united in region and ethnicity, held a moral advantage. Both sides regarded the plains east of Yarmouk River favorably, Byzantine banking on numerical strength, while Arabs relied on mobility. On the first day, elite warriors engaged in duels, with Muslims reportedly winning most battles and eliminating numerous rival officers. At noon, Vahan dispatched 1/3 of his infantry for reconnaissance and started pushing Arabs back in some areas. However, the majority of the army refrained from attacking, and this initial success was short-lived. Units eventually returned to their original position. The next day, at dawn, during Muslims' morning prayer, the Byzantines launched an attack. Vahan's strategy aimed to secure the enemy center and exploit a numerical advantage on the flanks. After some struggle, the Byzantines succeeded on their left side, forcing their adversaries to retreat all the way back to camp. Sources suggest that camp followers and even the wives of Muslims joined the defense, enabling the defenders to repel the Byzantines. The Arabs also had to withdraw on the left, but eventually reclaimed most of the lost territory, as al-Walid led his cavalry to the area. The Byzantine plan flattered as the Muslim reserve counterattacked their center, compelling them to retreat and restore the front. The third day mirrored the second, with Vahan's left flank gaining an advantage and inflicting casualties on many Muslims. However, al-Walid restored the formation by deploying his cavalry reserve to the right. The Arabs suffered significantly higher losses than Byzantines, leading al-Walid to realize that his defensive tactics were likely to end in defeat. In response, he devised a new strategy. The Byzantine leader remained confident in the effectiveness of his tactics and decided to attack the left once again. As in previous days, his forces managed to push the enemy all the way back to camp. This time, the right center group of the Arabs also had to retreat, signaling an imminent breakthrough. Al-Walid intervened by ordering his left and left center to attack and engage the opposition, countering the excessive advance of Byzantine's left and left center. With no defense to their right side, al-Walid exploited the situation by sending a group to attack there. The Byzantine incurred significant losses and had to retreat to avoid encirclement. Although the Arab right and right center experienced casualties, they successfully held off the opposing force. On the 5th day, Vahan sought a ceasefire, but his counterpart empathically declined, confident in his army's impending victory. Instead, al-Walid dispatched a cavalry squadron to secure the closest bridge, leaving the Byzantine with no retreat option. He concentrated his remaining cavalry on the right flank. On the 6th and the final day of the battle, the Muslims were ordered forward. With infantry engaged, al-Walid executed a flanking attack on the enemy cavalry and infantry. Although the Byzantines maintained a cavalry advantage, their scattered formation paled in comparison to the concentrated enemy raiders. Vahan's cavalry faced defeat, while the Muslim right successfully battled the Byzantines' left, attacked from the rear by cavalry. These troops then assaulted the Byzantine center, marking the end of the battle, with the closest bridge now under Arab control. Many Byzantines, including Vahan, perished during the retreat, resulting in over 25,000 casualties. In the subsequent decades, Muslims continued their invasion, claiming Syria, Egypt, and North Africa from the Eastern Roman Empire. Constantinople faced multiple sieges, leading to the Romans never reclaiming these lands, which remain under Muslim dominion to this day. Thank you for watching our documentary on Battle of Yarmouk. We hope you found it enjoyable. We appreciate your feedback and likes. Sharing this video would greatly assist us.